Hi everyone, welcome. Today I'm stopping by to talk about stress because it's everybody's problem. You see, basically, we shouldn't be stressed. As tried to elucidate in a couple of videos that I've made recently, when we react to stress, we have to respond like an animal does, with the kind of emotions and compensations that that help us to cope with the stress and adapt to the stress. But if we didn't react to the stress at all, if we weren't excited by it or angered by it, uplifted by it or bummed out by it, if we weren't threatened by it or made fearful by it, if we didn't react at all, then it wouldn't be a stress. And so the point I'm making is that there actually is a way of living and not reacting to stress. Now, the kind of stresses that I'm especially talking about now are not stresses like cold and heat and being chased by a tiger or that sort of thing. The stresses that I'm talking about are the unnecessary stresses, but they're everywhere. The little insinuations that people make, their little digs, their little teases, their little challenges, their rudenesses, their inconsiderations, and things they do like spill coffee on your desk and pretend like nothing happened. Their little lies, their little evasions, their will. See, that's a stress. Many people, in fact, most people have something in them that doesn't belong there. And whatever that is, it has a will. It doesn't just, I don't know how to say it, but you just know what I mean. Some people you can be around and they can say something and it's just so easy. They say it, it doesn't bother you. But other people, they say something, like one person could say, for example, oh, I'm kind of stuck in my work here. Could you hand me my coffee? But another person will say, would you mind handing me my coffee? And I can't do it very well, but you know what I mean. They put a will in it. Maybe, probably your mom, possibly, was willful. Everything she did had a will in it. Or some people, everything that they say couches some sort of something they want, or some agenda, or some criticism. So all these games, there used to be a book called The Games People Play. You remember that? And the author was trying to help people deal with it. The games people play. Well, the games people play, but it's not so much the people themselves, but what has gotten into them. But here's my point. When you were a little kid, you couldn't help it. You were born subject to the earth, subject to wrong authorities, subject to your parents. They did the best they could maybe, but they were misguided. They themselves hadn't fully grown up, and they themselves had been subject to willful parents and authorities, and so they were already compromised. And so that's what you were born subject to. And being just a little ego, first of nature and then of the spirit, you couldn't help but react to everything. And you did. But you see what that does? It sets up a conditioning process. And the more you react, the more sensitive you become. And the more sensitive you become, the more you react. And it begins to snowball. So then you get to the point you just want to pull your hair out, or you want to go drown yourself in alcohol, or you feel like running away. Some people get to the point they can't leave their they don't want to even leave their house. They wake up in the morning. See, but that's the thing now. Look. When you start to respond to people and their stresses, their willfulness and their meanness, and the cruel things that they say, and the confusing things that they say, and all of that, and their pressures, well, you become very reactive. It transfers from your reaction to them, then the reaction transfers to their words, the expression on their face, their tone of voice, and pretty soon the objects in the room, the things that they mentioned, the time of day, the angle of the sunlight, everything becomes tied into that. And you go around now reacting to everything. And if something goes wrong, you drop something on the floor, you react to it. So that's not good. So what's this higher way that I was talking about where you don't react? It is where instead of reacting and responding to stresses on the outside, which then get inside, and then they're in your own mind and your mind stresses you. See, this thing has to stop. I can go on and on talking about it. Books have been written about it. You could go get books on psychology and psychiatry and self-help and all kinds of religious and spiritual books and everything, and how to control your emotions and how to de-stress. There's zillions and zillions of books and online resources about it, describing it. So I don't need to do that anymore. What I need to tell you is that there is a higher way of life. And in this higher way of life, you respond to, how can I say this? You respond to what is given to you by way of intuition, by way of the inner light. And you save your responses for it. We oughtn't to be going around responding to everything in the world. We should save our responses for, like the old line from an old song that said, I'm saving my heart for Daddy. Yeah, for Daddy. So any responses should be to realizations that we have, insights, and to things that we're given to know. You're all set to get in the car and go somewhere, but somehow you just sense, somehow you kind of wordlessly sense, you have a hunch that not to go. And so you just don't. And you're safe. If you had gone, something would have happened. Or you like, there are certain things that you like to do. You enjoy them. You're good at them. It's like your natural calling. And so you do them. And you do them and you do them, and it leads to, one thing leads to another, and eventually it could lead to a career. It could lead to a wonderful way of life. Lots of wonderful things happen. So it's more like following. You're following what you know in your heart, wordlessly. See? And so you stop getting angry at people and resenting people and getting your feelings hurt. You're more detached. That's it. You detach from the world and you attach to the inner. You kind of know the light is there, and you know that it will show you what you need to know. And you know that in due time you will find your way. God will lead you step by step You don't know where the journey's going to end. You take a step one way, it seems like you're going the wrong way, but then you go another way, and then you go the other way again, and this time it's right. Why? Because the timing is right. Before, the timing wasn't quite right, so it seemed like you weren't going the right way, but it was only because it wasn't the right timing. But now it's the right time, and you go that way, and things fall into place. This way that's led by God and his inner light. See, he gives humans inner light. We can call it what we could call our response to it. We could call that intuition, insight, realization, delight, awe, wonder. See, true. So now you can have true compassion. Instead of resenting somebody and then feeling guilty, and instead of feeling sorry for them, now you see a need, and if you can help, you do. If you can't, you don't. But you see, there's a difference. So you're not responding emotionally anymore. Now you could say a higher set of emotions. They're not really emotions, but you could say that delight, peace of mind. Is peace of mind an emotion? Well, no, it's a state. It's a state of being. Peace of mind, calmness, which is good for others, right, if you're calm. Understanding, wisdom, and then the joy of realizing, the joy of doing right. See, now, the way it is now, you're so reactive, and you get so confused that you end up messing up. And then you want to kick yourself for messing up. You see what I mean? Wouldn't it be nice just to not to mess up? Just to naturally do things. Just do things, and then you're surprised. Oh, look at that. That came out good. Oh, look at, and instead of always trying to give yourself something. See, we're always, we want to give ourselves something, so we rush and give ourselves something. So you buy something for yourself, and then the next day you found out you could have gotten it for free. See? So wouldn't it be better just to wait and let God surprise you with something? You see what I mean? All right, so you got the idea. So what's the answer then? You have to find this higher way. You have to become less reactive and more detached, but connected to the inner way from God. So that means you're closer to intuition. Instead of ignoring it, you start to pay attention to it. See? And you learn how to watch people and watch things. Just like a good grandma. There are the children playing, and grandma's there, and she's watching. And she has some wisdom, and age has given her patience. The little children are playing, and she just watches them. And they're happy because they know grandma's there and they're safe, or grandpa. And she watches, and it's just a joy to see all the cute little things that they do and the things that they say. We have to learn to watch people like that. Watch people almost like if they were children. Yeah, they're messing up, but you don't get mad at them. You see what I mean? All right. So what do I have that helps? I talk about it. That helps. And I tell you about this other way, and you know that it exists deep in your heart. You know that there is such a way. You know there is. You just haven't found it yet. But don't worry about it. You see, you haven't found it. It's better not to have found it, and then someday, there it is. That's much better than to strive and struggle and strain and study to try to reach some goal. And then you reach the goal, you get the degree, you got your PhD, and you attained the top of something, and now what? See what I mean? Better just to, like Christ said, better to, when you go to a feast, to go and sit at the very back of the at the back of the room, then to go up to the head table and say, "Oh, here I am," and then you sit down at the head table, and then the host comes and says, "Excuse me, would you mind getting out of here? This is reserved for somebody." I'm laughing, but we always rush forward. We try to give ourselves these wonderful awards and things, and it'd be better just to be humble. All right, so I want to read you something here. Okay, so what do I have that helps? I talk about it, but the other thing that I have that helps is that I have a little meditation. Yeah, it's a very proper meditation. It's simple, and it is, what's the word to use? It's compatible with finding. It's compatible with a humble inquiry and a sincere searching for truth, and with finding that truth. It's compatible with the inner light from God, the still small voice. It helps you to calm down a little bit and find it. Right now, you're so lost in your thoughts, so that's your problem. You're lost in your thoughts. It helps you to get out of your thoughts, helps you to calm down. It helps you to begin to stand back a little bit and to refine, get back in touch with your intuition, with what you know in your heart.